Hey everybody, hope you're having a great day. Popping in with another seasonal favorite, pumpkin dip with some really easy sides. So before I show you that, I'm going to show you what we are actually going to use to make it. So this is one of our new stoneware bakers. It's a 9x13 and it's got, as you can see, this awesome white finish on it. You can see the stone inside and this fabulous lid, and I love this lid. So you can make, let's say, lasagna in here, breadsticks on the top, cook everything this way, but I'm also loving this tray for serving. And so we're going to use this, and I'm going to show you how you could essentially make this with just one dish, okay? So we're not going to use this part, but we are going to use this as a tray, as a kind of like a charcuterie tray with pumpkin dip as our feature, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we are going to do, and this is one of the dippers. It's super easy, okay? Ooh, sorry, upside down. It is just going to be one pie crust. So crazy easy. If you have got kids in the kitchen, this is a really fun way to include them. So I'm just going to unroll it. Make sure that if you happen to have it frozen, you have thawed. Okay. I'm going to just switch this down a little bit. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to take this as our new handy dandy. Look at that rolling pin with measurements. I'm going to just simply roll this out just a little bit to make it a little bit thinner. Okay, so feels great. Okay, but this is where kids can come in and help if you would like. So you can get as creative as you want with this. You also could simply take a knife or a pizza cutter and quickly do this into squares. It's a powdered sugar shaker, but it's actually got cinnamon and sugar in it, okay? So I'm gonna dust the top of this crust with that, okay? And then I actually like to take my rolling pin and just roll it over so that cinnamon and sugar actually kind of goes into the dough a little bit rather than just falling all over the place, okay? And then as for this, again, you could cut it as squares, but I'm actually gonna use this cute little, it's a round, it's actually for biscuits. Well, it's for whatever you want, but it comes with the biscuit cutter set. You could use any cookie cutters that you want. And so here's a fun way to get kids involved without having to make and roll out dough. Super easy, okay? So I'm just gonna cut these, all right? And then just for time, I'm just gonna put this over there for later. Okay, so we've got these little discs, and then what I will do is we're actually gonna put them on here, and we are going to just bake them right on that tray, okay? I'm just gonna use this little scraper to pull them up off the counter. A little flour goes a long way. Let's say that. Okay. And then these are gonna go into the oven and they're gonna bake, I'm gonna say, I believe the recipe is 14 to 16 minutes, basically just until they're, golden brown. So again, this could be very simple as cutting squares, or, if you buy like the tortilla chips that are in the strips, you could do the same with this. Okay, but very easy to do. And I didn't even do a great job of putting them on there. Okay, but there they are. Spread them out a little bit. So they actually all bake properly. Okay, and then these are going right in the oven, okay? All right, so that is that step. Done, easy. I'm just gonna clean up my cinnamon and sugar here. Okay, and then we're gonna move on to our pumpkin dip. Okay, so you need a mixing bowl. If you like to use a hand mixer, great opportunity for that. But you can simply use a whisk, and that's what we're gonna use here. So in here, I've already got half a block of cream cheese, and it is at room temperature, so it will mix a lot easier by hand, okay? And then the next ingredient is brown sugar. I just mix brown sugar as I need it, white with molasses though. But if you just have brown sugar, it's just brown sugar, okay? Then we're gonna add a little bit of cinnamon to this. All right, and then I'm gonna start to just mix this a little bit, kind of cream the cream cheese with the sugar. And it does not have to be perfect at this point because we're gonna keep adding and mixing. Okay, maple syrup, a little bit of maple syrup, about 1 tablespoon goes in here. Ish. Okay, so I'm gonna add that in so you can see how this is so many seasonal flavors. Okay, and then we're gonna add 1 cup of pumpkin. So this is just a can of pumpkin, and it's about half of the can. So this dish is not like super heavy pumpkin. It's just a really nice kind of a faint pumpkin flavor. It's not super overpowering or artificial flavored at all, which I love. Okay, so here is this so far. All right, okay, and the last thing we're going to add is you have a couple choices here. You could do a Cool Whip, or I like to just go ahead. This is our whipped cream maker. And we always have heavy whipping cream on hand. There's a handy little line right here. That's your do not fill above line. But I like this creamy, so I go ahead and fill it to that line. We're gonna lock the lid, and then it is just this little up and down motion. This is another great kid opportunity. This tool is really fun for kids, especially when it comes to like hot cocoa season. They can make their own whipped cream, add a little peppermint in it, candy cane dust. So as you can see, I didn't add anything else to the cream. There are times I do add maybe like a tablespoon of powdered sugar, maybe a little bit of honey, other kinds of flavors, but not for the pumpkin. It's just straight up cream. Okay, and it starts to get a little bit harder as it, just a minute. As you get close, it gets harder to do. Your arm gets a good workout. Okay, then we just okay, so there we go. There's our whipped cream. Okay, so I'm gonna dump that. Oops. All right, then we're going to use our little scraper and get the rest out of here. Because you don't want to waste any whipped cream. Okay, so there we go, nice and clean. All right, and now I'm going to just whip that in there. You can just fold it, or you can use your whisk. Okay, so you can kind of see this. The coloring in it, it's definitely not a deep pumpkin. It's really nice. People that I have had a number of people say don't like pumpkin, and then they try this and they do like it. So it's worth a try. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it into a serving bowl here, and you choose, obviously how much you use. Okay, and then the last thing I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna top it with some pecans. So I've got them in this chopper, and I'm just gonna chop them up. If you don't have pecans, you could easily just sprinkle a little cinnamon, you know, anything to kind of dress it up. Okay, so there is our pumpkin dip. Ooh, okay, I almost lost our pumpkin dip. Okay, now, while our little pie crusts, okay, I went ahead and baked some early just so we could kind of see how it all goes together. The only other thing we're gonna add to this, so we're gonna have the dip, we're gonna have our little pie crusts, and then we're gonna do some apple wedges. Okay, apples are really in season. They go really awesome with this. This is our apple wedger. So you can see it cores and wedges all at the same time. Okay, and I just kind of like to coach people to do a little bit of a rocking motion to get it started. And then you're just gonna push down, okay? And then each of these wedges will just kind of fall through. Okay, and you are left with the core, which you obviously don't need. Okay. Okay, and then we're gonna do the second one. Okay, so you guys can see this is super easy, but also allows for just so much fun. Lots of fun ideas that you could use this with. All centered around the pumpkin dip. You could do ginger snaps. You could do lots of just fun seasonal cookies, all different kinds of stuff. But this one, it's just simple, easy and simple on purpose, okay? So let me grab now. We're gonna do a little shift around over here. Okay, I'm gonna just slide these. So we're gonna pretend that these are all done right out of the oven, okay? And then we're just gonna use this to build our board, okay? So I pre-baked some of these just so you can kind of see they're nice and golden brown. And so we're just going to go ahead and kind of stack them on one side of the board. Put the other ones back in to keep baking. Okay, so here is our little pie crusts, and you know, obviously depending on how many you're making this for, you know, you can do way more of this. And then on the other side, we're just gonna do our apple wedges. Okay. So this tray, it's not crazy big. Remember, it's the lid to a 9x13. So it's not super big, which means it very easily fills up. And it just presents so nicely. So there is our pumpkin dip board. I'm gonna hold that just so it doesn't dip. And that's it, okay? So this is so easy. The pumpkin dip easily could be made ahead of time. Even the night, the day before, night before, I just would hold off on any garnish on the top. You could make these ahead of time, but they are really yummy. Just a little bit warm with the dip. And that's it. So that's your pumpkin dip with super easy dips to enjoy. So love to hear your feedback on this one as well. Tell me what you think. I wish you could all try this because it's yummy and it smells amazing, but